Everyone, welcome to Play Hooky with me. My name is Roz, and this week I wanted to share with you a collection of crochet gift card holders. These are super quick and easy to do, won't take you a lot of time, and add a little bit of whimsy to a really popular form of gift giving. I've done these videos a little bit differently. If you've already seen this intro, I'm leaving a timestamp here so you can skip directly to the main pattern. But if this is your first time watching, I'm first going to share how to make the base of your gift card holders, the yarn, the hook, and all the measurements, followed by the main pattern, how to seam the sides of your gift card holder, and then finally some options on if you want to have a closure for it. I think that's about it, so yeah, let's go ahead and start playing some hooky. To get started, let's talk a little bit about the yarn and the hook size. For all of these patterns, I used a standard acrylic yarn in medium weight 4. The required hook size is a 5mm, but I would suggest that you go down to a 4mm to make your stitches more condensed and tight. I actually used a 3.75mm, but that's just because I had it close to hand and I like that size. A typical size for a gift card is about 2 by 3.5. I think these were 2 1/4 by 3.5 to be specific, but you get the idea. The card holders themselves, I made about 3 by 4 inches. We're going to do 10 single crochets across and then 14 rows high. For the gift card holder, we're going to make 2 sides. Start with a slip knot on your hook, and we're going to chain 11. Skip the first chain from the hook and do a single crochet in the second chain, followed by single crochets all the way across. Once you've reached the end, chain 1 and turn. Work in the very first stitch with a single crochet going through both loops at the top and continue across. Coming to the very last stitch of row 2, insert your hook in both loops, and row 2 is completed. Chain 1, turn your work, and continue this all the way up until you've done 14 rows. Mr. Snowman is really easy to make. I would just remind with a quick tip to be sure that you do all of your attaching and embroidery stitches before you attach the 2 sides together. To make your carrot nose, start with a slip knot on your hook, chain 5, in the second chain from the hook, do a slip stitch. This will put a nice point onto your carrot. In the next chain, do a half double crochet. Double crochet in the next chain. In the last chain, do a half double crochet. And then in the same spot, I like to do a slip stitch to close it. For the eyes, I did French knots, and I'm going to show you how to do a French knot, but if you do not like doing French knots, I'll show you an alternative. To get started, thread your tapestry needle with some black yarn. I'm doing 2 strands together. This will make it go quicker and make the stitches thicker. Pick where you want your eye to go. Starting from under your piece, pull your yarn through. Leave some tail there so you can tie it when you're finished. Wrap the yarn twice around your needle. Pick a spot near where you entered, but don't go into the same hole or it'll go straight through. Gently pull. And you've made your French knot. And in the back, I just tied the two sides together. Do this gently. You don't want to disturb the French knot on the other side. You can do a double knot if you like, but if you want to do a single knot, just make sure that you don't cut too close to that knot or it will come apart. And then I would suggest some fabric glue to just keep that in place. An alternative to the French knot, let me show you. Just start like you did with the French knot, making sure you have 2 strands of yarn happening. Go through. Under. And then nearby, but not in the same spot, come through again and over. This will make your knot a little bit more haphazard, like the charcoal. And when you're all done decorating, it's time to seam the sides. The little gingerbread is super easy to make. I would suggest that you do all of your embroidery before you join the 2 sides together though. We're going to do a little bit of surface crocheting for the frosting on the top and bottom, a little bit of embroidery here for the mouth. I did French knots for the eyes and I'll show you how to do that, but you do not have to do French knots. And then little circles for the cheeks. This is simply a magic circle with 4 single crochets in the center. Cinch it closed with the tail. And slip stitch it closed. I don't do the little slip knot at the top of this. I just go ahead and make a nice long tail and use that to attach to the piece. To make your frosting, we're going to do surface crocheting. If you don't like doing surface crocheting, you can just take a tapestry needle and zigzag across the top instead of doing this. It will still look really cute with that. Start with a slip knot on your hook. Take it off of the hook. We're going to start on the right hand side if you're right-handed. Start on the left hand side if you're left-handed. We're going to be working sort of up and down in V's. Put my hook in. Go in the back of your work. Put your loop back on your hook and pull through. Try your best not to pull the knot through. You want that to stay in the back. Now I'm going up to the top. Insert your hook in the back, pull through your working piece of yarn and make a chain. I'm just trying to loosen my yarn here a little bit. Okay, let's do that again. We're going down again, go in, yarn over and pull the yarn through. Try to be relaxed with this. If you're too tight, your stitches won't, they'll start to buckle. Okay. We're moving up again. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. And make a chain. Going down again, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and make your chain. Whoop, there we go. And just continue that all the way across. And repeat for the bottom portion as well. For your smile, go ahead and cut off a strand of yarn and thread it onto a tapestry needle. Go in from the back. I'm not knotting anything. Now I'm just going to go across, decide how long you want your smile to go. Now I'm going to secure it with 3 little attachments. One. Two. Three. And then once you have your smile done, then you can attach your little cheeks onto the top corners. And then when you're finished with all your decorating, it's time to seam the sides. Seaming your pieces is very simple to do. We're just going to do a simple slip stitch all the way around 3 sides. With the single crochet, you get very uniform stitch patterns, so it's easy to see where you want to put your stitches. You have about 14 spaces here that you can work into. I would not stress too much on this. Less is more. If you are not getting exactly 14, don't worry about it. You just don't want to go over 14 stitches, because if you do, then your piece is going to get a little wavy. Starting in the very top corner, go into both pieces and pull your yarn through. I'm not doing a tight slip stitch to connect the 2 pieces together. I like to have the freedom. If I'm not liking how this looks, I can easily pull it apart and start over. And now we're just going to do a slip stitch, which gives a surface crochet appearance on the top of your work. You don't want to work this too tightly because your piece is going to start bunching up on you, and you want it to stay flat. And to stay relaxed, just kind of play with the tension of your stitches before you move into the next one. You'll get the hang of this. Okay, going into the next sort of gap, making sure I'm going in both pieces. Yarn over, pull through, and that's the second slip stitch done. Going into this space. Pull through, and I'm just going to continue doing this all the way to the corner, and I'll see you at the corner. I've reached my first corner, and at this point I'm just going to do the typical slip stitch. I am not adding any extra stitches on the corner. I did try that and I didn't like the look of it. It kind of elongated the corners, and I wanted it to stay as uniform and square as I could. So I found it was just best to do 1 slip stitch in the corner and then move into the next natural gap that I saw. Making sure I'm going in both sides, pulling, and then continuing on. And this one's pretty easy to see. We're now at a length of about 10, and you can use your stitches here to guide you. There are several different ways that you can go about adding a little closure to your gift card holders. You can do something just with a spare piece of yarn, just tie a little bow, either close to the edge so there's no peeking allowed, or a little bit higher if you want to hang it up in a tree. But one of my favorites is adding a little button to the back and doing a simple clasp. I just take a piece of yarn in a matching color, slide it through 2 loops at the top, tie it, and there you go, you have a little button clasp. This can also serve as a hanger as well. I hope you enjoyed these patterns, and if you did, be sure to check out these other gift card holders.